You know, one of the most searing encounters I ever had as in discussions about all of these topics was with a Catholic priest.
Hmm.
And he was an elderly man. He had lived his life in the priesthood. And, you know, he said, well, why haven't you done what you need to do?
Hmm.
Why haven't you taken up the reins of government and self-governed?
Good question.
Well, I guess you could say because we didn't know that we needed to.
Mm-hmm.
We thought that this was the way it was supposed to be, and nobody told us any differently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are responses. There's guilt enough to go all the way around. But at the end of the day, our employees did not help us. They did not tell us the truth about the situation. They lied by omission, and they benefited themselves at our expense. So these are issues that all fall under the general category of breach of trust. And breach of trust is a very serious crime. It's a moral crime as well as a legal and lawful crime. So it hits all three jurisdictions when there's breach of trust.
Hmm.
So we're talking about a very serious crime that was committed against us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, we do have some culpability because we haven't self-governed, because we haven't gotten up off of our couches and out of our lazy boys and grabbed a paddle. That's true. But now we're being told in a very forthright manner that we need to do this. And we're being shown why through the work that's ongoing here at the American States Assembly and through the United States of America. And as more Americans kind of wake up and answer the call, we need to show people the process, that there is actually a task to be done, and declaring yourself and joining your state assembly, and then operating your state assembly and setting up your state of state organization and having it active in the Confederation and having the Confederation doing its job overseeing the states of America, operating the Federal Republic, and the Federal Republic riding herd on the territorial government and on the municipal government. That's what's supposed to happen. Okay, and it's just step by step by step by step.
Fantastic.
And, you know, the state assemblies may need to stay in constant session for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
It may be a slog before things get sorted out and everybody is on track and everything is working the way it should again. But so what? Right? If in the end we wind up with a wonderful school system, we wind up with strong, happy families, we wind up with people that have employment and jobs that give them a life, a real life where they can enjoy their life and have a future that they build themselves. If we have freedom of speech and religion and we're not being taxed to death and harassed by our employees, hey, it's worth it to me.
It's a darn good investment, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's a great investment and it's a worthwhile thing to do. I mean, of all the things and all the sacrifices that we make for our children and grandchildren, giving them a world in which they are free of slave status, free of debt enslavement,
Yeah.
Where they have solid forms of being able to invest in their future, where they have a clear claim to what is theirs by right and inheritance, where they have the protections of the Constitution in place, where they have control of their government and their employees. I mean, we can sort an awful lot of this out for them, and we can train them up to take care of themselves in the future.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
So I think as a parent and as a grandparent and as a great-grandparent, as it turns out, that is something that is worth it to me.
Absolutely, Anna. I'm right there with you.
Also, I guess it's a little bit more than that in terms of family structure, because I remember my grandmother, and I remember what she went through. I remember her stories at her knee. And I have a good sense of how many sacrifices were made by prior generations to make this country into something wonderful. And so it's also, you kind of owe it to people who came before.
Sure.
And you owe it to people who came after.
Absolutely.
To do your part